This is my 11-inch 2018 iPad Pro. It is my favorite device probably in this entire house. I love the screen, the smoothness of the ProMotion display, but if it's one thing that I really bought this device for, is that it was meant to replace my laptop. But after using it for around a year and a half, I find that that's not really the case. It does a lot of things, but replacing my laptop, nah, it just won't do. So if you are going to buy an iPad Pro to replace your laptop, please watch the entirety of this video and decide whether you can live with the shortcomings of the iPad Pro and iPad OS in general. So firstly, the Files app. The Files app is pretty basic. So one thing I found out is that you cannot back up your iPhone to the iPad. That's a big bummer, especially like when you come back from a vacation. You know, you're taking lots of videos, lots of photos, and they're gonna be like in really high quality, right? Because now all the video cameras are shooting in 4K. You cannot back it up to the iPad. It does not allow you to do that, not like a Mac where you can just click and you can back up. And you just can't do that on the iPad Files app. So if you don't subscribe to, I don't know, the Apple, iCloud, even if you subscribe to iCloud, how are you going to back up half a terabyte worth of storage? You just can't. Okay, so secondly, the iPad does not allow you to format SD cards, thumb drives, and hard disks. Okay, anything that's USB, sometimes you need to format, especially like when you buy a new device, you buy a new thumb drive, you need to format it. Or if you buy a new SD card for your action camera, you need to format it. And the iPad just cannot do that. So you kind of have to find another device, I don't know, borrow your friend's phone, borrow your friend's Mac or PC to just format an SD card. Such a simple thing, you cannot do it on iPad Pro. Here's my biggest gripe with the iPad Pro Files app, is that when it doesn't work, it really doesn't work. You know, you can try to force close it and reopen it again, restart the iPad, and it will just refuse to work. An example of it refusing to work is that now, it's refusing to connect to my NAS. And if I use another app like Documents, it will connect to my NAS. So clearly it's something wrong with the Files app. I've given up on the Files app. I've been using Documents by Riddle. It's just called Documents, and it's a much better Files app compared to the Files app. Second reason on why this will not replace a laptop, it has no multi-user support. Why? Why does it not have multi-user support? Like, all PCs have it, all Macs have it. If you want it to replace a laptop, you need multi-user support. Multi-user support is super important on a device like this where it's meant to be shared. Now Apple is pushing gaming like on the iPad very heavily. And what if the game doesn't have cloud saves? You're pretty much done. You cannot say, oh, this is my part of the game, don't touch it, to your friend or your family or your girlfriend. What you want to let them try it out, but you also don't want them to mess with your saves. And gaming is just one example. What about work? What about just separating each other's documents? Like, this is my photo and that's your photos. You should not be combining them because the iPad doesn't have multi-user support. That really sucks that the iPad does not have multi-user support, and that is one of the biggest reasons the iPad cannot replace a laptop. Thirdly, the mobile apps on the iPad is just not as good. Okay, so Word, you cannot insert an object like PDF into the Word document on an iPad, whereas you can on a Mac or a PC. That's very important. Secondly, I don't know, Zoom is not as good. You can only see like 16 people on one screen. I don't know, don't quote me on that, but you can see a lot more on the PC version or the Mac version. So yeah, the mobile apps are just, sometimes they're not as good, and when you need it the most, that's when it's not as good. Adding on to the previous point, I think that sometimes it's a lot better and easier to use the web app instead of the mobile app that is on the iPad. So for example, Canva, right? I use it a lot to design slides, animations, and the web app is so much better than the one that you can download from the App Store. So I just go to canva.com and do everything there instead of just wasting my time with the lousy app that is provided by Canva on the App Store. 4, you cannot install any third-party things on the iPad, and it sucks. Okay, let's say you're in a hobby, you know, and the app is not on the App Store. I'm into the mechanical keyboard hobby. There's no QMK app on the App Store. How do I configure my keyboard? I need to sideload the QMK firmware onto my Mac, but you cannot do that on the iPad because you cannot sideload any apps on the iPad. So yeah, it sucks. And it's not just my keyboard hobby, you know, I can think of so many hobbies. I play the guitar, I have digital pedals that need programming. You cannot program them on iPad because there's no such app on the iPad. I know there are some like pedals that use Bluetooth, but most of the more expensive ones like the Kemper or the Line 6 Helix, you need a PC or a Mac to load your IRs into your pedal. You know, all these things you need the third-party software to do it, and you cannot load any of them into the iPad. Now, my second last challenge with the iPad being a proper computer is that it does not offer external monitor support. It offers external monitor mirroring, but it does not truly support external monitors where, like, if I want to play a video and do some work on my iPad, I cannot like split it. No way. Okay, there are some apps which allow you to cast a video to like full screen on an external monitor, but I realized that it doesn't output full range RGB, so the colors look a bit washed out, and that's only for videos. What if I want to do anything else? You will get to see like the freaking black bars at the side, and it sucks. There are some cases where you really need external monitor support. PowerPoint presentations, you can't do that. I mean, you can, but it sucks. You know, everyone else will have this big screen presentation, whereas if you plug an iPad in, it will be shrunk by like a lot, 20-30%, and then your colors look weird. I don't know, it doesn't compare to a proper PC or Mac presentation experience. And lastly, it's the limited I/O on the iPad. This is not such a big problem for a lot of people, but it comes in handy once in a while to have a headphone jack. Why does it not have a freaking headphone jack? I need to plug my mic into something, right? So you have to buy the adapter, and if you buy the adapter, you cannot charge your iPad. So you need to buy the adapter that can charge your iPad and plug the thing in at the same time. And especially in this era where you have Zoom calls everywhere because it's freaking COVID. What? That is some of the reasons why I have not replaced my Mac or PC with an iPad. Trust me, I've really tried. Okay, I was considering just selling everything and using my iPad, but nope, I can't do it. This is just way too limiting of a device to call a computer. I still love it though. Okay, I use it like every day on the couch. The screen is awesome, like I said before. And yeah, it's the best tablet out there, but it's not a computer. Please like if you've liked this video and consider subscribing. If you have any questions, please drop them down in the comment section below, and have a nice day. Take care.